You are about to win $167 million, and somehow that is not going to be enough to save you from yourself. But before we get to the money, before the giant check, before the Porsche, before the Florida hotel room with the ocean view, you need to understand who you were before any of this happened. Because who you were before the ticket is the only thing in this story that never changes. You are 45 years old and Kentucky knows your name the way states know the names of people they have stopped expecting to rehabilitate. Not one jail, not one arrest, not one bad year. 25 correctional facilities across 9 counties. Drugs, theft, weapons, violence that produced more violence. A record so thick that judges stop reading it before they reach the middle, because the pattern is clear long before the ending. The thing about a life like that is that it trains you, not in the way school trains you, in the way pressure trains things. Your nervous system learned early that the world responds to force, that backing down means something worse happens next, that speed is better than stillness when things go wrong, that trust runs out faster than everything else. These were not bad lessons. They were the right lessons for the environments that taught them. The problem is that lessons learned in survival do not unlearn themselves when the survival conditions change. It is 2006, you are on parole. Not free exactly, free in the way that has a curfew and a supervisor and a list of places you cannot go. Managing, not thriving. Existing in the narrow space between your history and your next decision. Your mother still buys lottery tickets on Tuesdays. You buy them with her sometimes. $2, a small ritual. Not hope exactly, more like the practice of hope. A way of telling yourself the future is still something that could surprise you. You go to sleep that night the same person you have always been, and then you wake up and you check the numbers the way you always check them, without expectation. The way you check the weather in a city you are not traveling to. Your eyes move across the ticket, then they move back because something did not register correctly the first time, or maybe it did, and your brain is refusing to process what that means. Numbers do not change because you want them to. You learned that a long time ago. Today, it works in your favor. $167.3 million, the largest lottery jackpot in the history of Kentucky. Yours? Belonging to you, a man currently on parole. A man with a file spanning 25 facilities across 9 counties. A man who bought a $2 ticket on a Tuesday with his mother because it was something to do with hope. The universe did not check your record before making this decision. The numbers fell the way numbers fall. Randomly, indifferently, without any awareness of how absurd this moment is. You have just won more money than every judge who ever sentenced you will earn in their combined lifetimes. You take the lump sum, $77.3 million cash after taxes. $77 million. The number is so large it stops feeling like money and starts feeling like a concept. You stand at a press conference holding a check the size of a small door. Reporters put microphones close to your face. Cameras flash. People you have never met smile at you with the specific warmth that wealth produces in strangers. Yesterday you were buying $2 tickets because that was the cash you had. Today people are asking what you are going to do with $77 million. For a few weeks, the weight lifts. Not just financially, something deeper. The particular heaviness of being a person. That rooms tighten around. That changes. People lean toward you now instead of away. Conversations open rather than close. You walk through spaces you have never been in before. A hotel lobby where nobody checks your record at the door. A restaurant where nobody asks you to move along. A car dealership where the salesman knows your name before you introduce yourself. You are learning what it feels like to be on the right side of an invisible line. You go to Florida. You book a hotel room with an ocean view, and the first time you open the balcony door and see the Atlantic stretching out without a fence around it, you stand there longer than you planned to. You are used to views with boundaries, walls, fences, wire. This view just continues. Water all the way to where the horizon decides to end it. You stand on that balcony, and for the first time in as long as you can remember, you exhale. You think, this is it. This is the other side. I made it here. 3 months ago, you were counting prison days. Tonight, you are sitting inside a black Porsche worth more than every car you have ever owned combined. You press the accelerator. The engine responds. The speedometer climbs. 80, 90, 100. The road ahead is dark and open. And for one specific moment at 100 miles per hour, it genuinely feels like the universe is making a payment. Like all of it, the cells, the files, the sentences, the years, was a debt being settled. And here is what you were owed. Fast car, open road, the future finally cooperating. Then the headlights. People think money changes people. They say it reveals character, but that framing misses something important. Money does not reveal character. Money removes obstacles. The person underneath was already there, fully formed, long finished, the product of everything that came before the ticket. And the person underneath you was someone whose body had spent decades learning that escalation was the appropriate response to friction. That the right reaction when a room went wrong was not de-escalation, not patience, whatever came next, and came fast. $77 million does not reach back into a person and restructure 45 years of formation. It just funds it. 9 days. That is the distance between the press conference and the first arrest. The hotel bar, Florida. An argument with a stranger about something that will be impossible to reconstruct afterward. Because arguments like these never really begin where they appear to begin. They begin somewhere earlier, somewhere older. You punch someone, police arrive, you try to kick another man, you miss, you kick the officer instead. A taser, handcuffs, the floor, and then the specific fluorescent light of a booking room that your eyes recognize before your brain has finished catching up. 9 days after the largest lottery win in Kentucky history, you are back in a cell. The dream lasted 9 days. You get out, you go back to the money. The money is still there, patient, indifferent, sitting in its account, unbothered by what you have been doing. You tell yourself the hotel was an anomaly. One bad night. You have $77 million and you made one mistake. You almost believe this. The Porsche helps you believe it. Fast things have always helped you feel like you are moving away from whatever is behind you. You press the accelerator. You always press the accelerator. The speedometer climbs, and at 100 miles per hour, it still feels like freedom. Until suddenly, it does not. You flee the scene on foot. This detail is important. You have $77 million. You have lawyers whose numbers are in your phone. You have resources that most people involved in traffic incidents would use immediately. But your body does not consult the bank balance when a situation goes wrong. Your body consults the 45 years before the ticket and 45 years before the ticket. The correct response to a situation escalating past a certain point was to move fast, away. Your legs remember the route, even when your mind has forgotten why you landed. A second chance only works if the person receiving it knows what to do with it. Nobody taught you what to do with $77 million. The lottery commission handed you a check. The ceremony ended, everyone went home, and you were left standing in a life-size amount of money with the exact same tools you had before it arrived. No one sat across from you in the first week. No therapist appeared to address 25 correctional facilities worth of formation. No advisor helped you build the structure that makes money stay. You received the resource, you did not receive the manual. Then something happens with the woman. The police report describes it carefully. You will dispute the specifics, but not the general shape. What is not disputed is the outcome. She is terrified. She is under a desk. She is on the phone with 911. And when police arrive, they find the combination of things that should not exist in the room of a $77 million lottery winner. Drugs, a handgun, a woman who needed to call for help. You are arrested again. And this time the word again carries a weight it did not carry after the hotel, because again implies pattern. The casino appears in your story with the frequency of allocation that has been written into the script. You are there when the argument starts. You drive to her house afterward. It is late. Nothing good has ever started with that sentence. Police get involved. She accuses you of stealing $12,000. You have $77 million. The accusation is geometrically impossible and somehow not surprising. They find you at the casino near the Porsche. Again, handcuffs. Again, the fluorescent light again. Then she recants. The $12,000 was never stolen. She misplaced it, found it, charges dropped, and you might read that as relief. Injustice reversed, the system correcting itself. But here is what that moment actually is. By this point in your story, nobody is surprised by the charges. Not the press, not the public, not the people who covered your lottery win with genuine warmth 2 years earlier. The charges being dropped barely moves the needle because the charges are no longer the story. The pattern is the story, and patterns do not drop charges. Stories like this one stay with me for a reason. They are not really about money. They are about the gap between circumstance and identity, about how completely a person can change their external situation while remaining entirely unchanged on the inside, about how the habits that keep you alive in difficult environments become the habits that destroy you when the difficulty is removed, about how the past does not announce its presence. It just shows up in the decisions, in the reflexes, in the way you press the accelerator when the speedometer reads 90 and the road ahead is dark and open, and for one moment it feels like freedom. You escape poverty. You never escaped yourself. The police still knew your name. The system that had processed you 25 times kept processing you, not because it was hunting you, because you kept returning to it. The money removed every external excuse, every obstacle, every barrier that had ever been available to explain your decisions. And when all of that was gone, what remained was exactly what had always been there. You, unchanged, expensive now, driving a faster car, staying in better rooms, but making the same decisions with the same hands, that had made them before the ticket. Before you leave this story, sit with one question, not about him, about yourself. If $77 million appeared in your account tomorrow, not eventually, tomorrow, would you become a different person? Or would you become the same person with better furniture? Would the patterns dissolve when the obstacles did? Or would they travel with you into every new city, every new room, every new vision of your life the money purchased? Most of us have never had to find out. Most of us still have the obstacles. Most of us can still say, if only I had the money, everything would be different. He found out, and the answer was not what any of us would want it to be. You escaped poverty. You never escaped yourself. That is the whole story. Not the RS, not the Porsche, not the 9 days. One sentence. The lottery changed your bank account. It never changed you.